Steve McQueen was one of Hollywood's biggest box office draws in the late 1960s, and in 1974 he became the highest-paid film star on the planet. Actress Ali MacGraw, best remembered for her role as Jenny in 1970's Love Story, was married to famed producer Robert Evans before meeting and falling madly in love with her co-star Steve McQueen while on the set of their 1971 film The Getaway. What started as another spicy Hollywood love affair evolved into a full-fledged romance. Unfortunately, their relationship soon soured, and in 1977 they went their separate ways. Ali MacGraw has since opened up about her fiery yet tumultuous romance with Steve McQueen. Keep watching to hear what Ali has to say about that particularly painful chapter of her life. McQueen turned MacGraw's life and career upside down. Born to commercial artist parents in Bedford Village, New York, MacGraw grew up with a lack of self-esteem and was surrounded by drama. Her parents were constantly at odds with each other, and her father was a morbid alcoholic whose temper flared when he hit the bottle. To get away from her home life, she started modeling, landing a pretty decent gig under Diana Vreeland. A couple years later, she scored her first role in the film A Lovely Way to Die. Her next significant bit of screen time was in the hit 1969 rom-com Goodbye Columbus. While she was modeling in college, Ali met director Robert Evans, who eventually cast her in Love Story as Jenny. One day, MacGraw visited Evans' Beverly Hills home to go over the role and ended up never leaving. The two struck up a romance and got married not long after. MacGraw's career suddenly exploded. The positive critical reception her previous performances had garnered, coupled with her marriage to one of Tinseltown's most revered directors, resulted in her being one of the most sought-after actresses of her day. In 1971, McQueen came to her home to inquire if she wanted to work with him on The Getaway. But from the moment she opened the door, Ali was absolutely smitten by the handsome man standing in front of her. They shared an instant connection that led to them starting an affair. Not long after, MacGraw left Evans and moved in with McQueen. And for a spell, their life was filled with romance and happiness that they'd never known before. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Ali describes their relationship as chemical. In 2018, the 83-year-old actress sat down with People magazine and discussed her marriage to Steve McQueen. When describing what kind of relationship they had, Ali referred to it as chemical. MacGraw said Steve could walk into a room and any man, woman, or child would go, "Whoa, what was that?" She went on to say she was no exception. While Ali found McQueen incredibly attractive most of the time, she said there was always an element of danger with him, adding there was, as she put it, a bad boy there. In 2017, MacGraw gave another interview to the UK's Times news outlet. She described how their marriage started blissful but quickly spiraled into chaos. The two lived together in a secluded Malibu home where they spent most of their time, quote, half naked on the beach while enjoying frequent barbecues and a never-ending supply of beer and cannabis. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau were their neighbors, but they mainly mingled with the more common folk. MacGraw told The Times she's grateful they lived there before the advent of the modern smartphone and the invasion of privacy that comes with celebrities having their pictures taken when they step out of their homes. While they still had to put up with the paparazzi, they at least knew where they were going to be. McQueen's dark side reared its ugly head. While Ali had described McQueen as being a principled and original person, when they first got together, she didn't know he was battling his own inner demons related to childhood traumas. His dad had abandoned his family when he was a baby, and his mom sent him to boarding school for troubled children when he was 14. Since then, he never trusted women. MacGraw unfortunately had to learn this the hard way. Her first red flag was when he made her sign a prenup, but at the time she was too infatuated to suspect anything about him might have been worrisome. He wanted her to quit working. Another red flag was McQueen's pre-matrimonial demand that she quit working. Instead of fighting this request and sticking with her lucrative and successful acting career, she simply submitted and stayed at home to raise their two sons. Pretty soon, MacGraw started feeling stifled. Steve would regularly explode with anger if he saw her so much as look at another man. Not one to talk, his eyes would often wander. Not surprisingly, their relationship quickly soured, and in 1977 they separated and divorced a year later. In 1980, when McQueen died of cancer, MacGraw was understandably devastated. Their marriage might not have been the best, but she still loved him. Throughout their time together, she always feared he would someday leave her, but she never expected him to leave the world so soon. MacGraw fell into a deep, dark depression. To numb her pain, she sought solace in alcohol. She soon found herself at the Betty Ford Clinic, where she admitted to not only being an alcoholic, but also identified as male. It's unclear whether or not she still identifies as a man, as she still uses female pronouns. But the fact that she was able to come to terms with her alcoholism was an enormous step in the right direction. She underwent extensive therapy to curb her addiction, and in 1994, she left Hollywood behind to live a quiet life in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Since then, she's penned an autobiography called Moving Pictures that has earned her the title of best-selling author. MacGraw admits that for the longest time, she continued to live in the past, always pondering what might have been if things had played out differently. But now, she's more focused than she has ever been on her future. In addition to writing, MacGraw also likes to paint, garden, and occasionally go out on a date or two. She also devotes a lot of time and energy to animal welfare causes and actively practices a daily meditation and yoga routine. She's not that interested in acting anymore, but in 2016, she briefly reunited with her former Love Story co-star Ryan O'Neal for a touring production of the play Love Letters. The two aging stars have maintained a close relationship over the years and still enjoy each other's company immensely. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Ali MacGraw? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Facts First as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Facts First, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from Facts First or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99. There are hours of members-only videos waiting for you, with new videos added every month. And we're actively working on bringing even more features to help fans like you connect with other members and get more of your favorite content. Just click join, and we'll see you inside the membership tab.